I set a trap. I find out all of the bitches who's hating him mad for putting something out about one of their favorite artists. And I'm counting all of the women who are coming in my ear, in my honey hive, talking about. You know what I mean? Like I said, a trap, and I'm receiving the rewards of this trap. Someone's like, he's married. He been with her since the 80s. Nigga, don't be coming up in that. Guys, it's a trap. Okay? It's a trap. It's a trap. What was that on Star Wars or Star Trek? Then you don't know. General who? Okay. they're like, mm, he don't even know you. He don't even want, he doesn't even. Come on, guys. It's a trap. How is it a trap? When God calls someone to service, they are in service. What does this service mean? Preaching, good one. Testifying, good one. Communicating, good one. Okay. That's all I wanted to say as I put a trap out into the universe. Ooh, the Zulu up front. What's up with the Zulu? Y'all gonna find Congo. My bad. Just kidding. What? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. For what? Okay, well, I'm getting off then. I just want to tell the women on the background, don't fall for the trap. Just lay it low. It's a honey trap. Yeah, it's a honey pot trap. But it's not with honey, it's with gossip and rumors. I want to see who grabs along the channel and runs it to back to the mouth of the girl and see who it is that's playing both fields on Judas's team. Cause Judas got a game up front. Judas lineage is still around. They don't want to spread jealousy. And I want to nip Judas's lineage from the ancestors so I could circumcise that cat. I gotta circumcise it so he don't be going making and breeding with women on the earth, making them haters. Cause Judas's seed, they go to the feminine. And because he's a part of the old coalition of um, Cain and Abel, they got the Cain DNA. Cain DNA leads to a lot of over sugar diagnosis. Like they get diabetes really quick because they're part of Cain the lineage. The lineage is you have too much sugar, you have to pay off the cane costs in Jamaica because Jamaica bear the best cane, right? Sometimes when you bear the best cane, you are on the background. So that's like men with that pipe. Yeah, pipe. So that's why back in the day, I was like, I'm going to Jamaica on vacation. But if I'm your husband, I'm bringing him back. But Stella got her groove back. And when Stella got her groove back, dude came into town, made it with her, and then turned gay. Stella got her groove back for a second, but she lost it for because a second coming of God. They wanted to do what they wanted to do before God came, right? So they wanted to fornicate, masturbate, and all kind of cates, right? They wanted the white version because they could delineate their sugar quantity into her womb, making pipe dreams or creating honeybees, a new hive within the feminine. So sometimes the womb would get high on sugar, and that would be that volcano. That would be the orgasmic. It's not an orgasm; it's a volcanic eruption. But only creation and creators know to do that. So creators come from fire lineage. I got you. Fire lineage Shango. Fire lineage rappers. Who is a who is a fire sign in the rap industry? Who is a Gemini though? Because that can flip. If he creates Flint, so Flint is dragon energy. Angel got a dragon named Flint yesterday. He creates Flint. Flint back in fire, right? So the back end of his programming is pure fire. So that could be lineage Aganyu. But Aganyu go back to Maui. Maui go back to the oldest deity. Hagale. I was just talking about Flint. Let me show people the Flint. Can I show him? The dragon? Everybody, this is Flint. Look. His name is Flint. Ain't he cute? Girl, he's so cute. He's his way. Yeah, so cute. Thank you. You're welcome. So they could flip if they're in Gemini. The front end is coal. Back end is yeah, he can breathe fire. Fire. That means he spits fire lyrics, right?
He can scratch on you.
Yeah.
Destroy asteroids.
Yeah, and he could destroy asteroids. So he don't even need to play games with it. He's already. Yeah, shut this door. Thank you, my love. Love you. Mwah, mwah. Bye. Love you. Okay. Okay. So Flint. Okay. Remember Flint Lockwood? Remember Flint Lockwood? Flint Lockwood, cloudy with a chance of meatballs. Cloudy with a chance of meatballs. He changed the weather through his invention. He could change the weather. And it start raining food. And it start raining ingredients. Mana. Uh-huh. Menon. Menon. Remember in the witchcraft movie Craft with the girl that played in American History X, right? She played in American History X opposite Pocahontas' grandson. Great grandson. Norton. Big Mama Thornton married a Frenchman in the quarters. She married a Frenchman, and that's where he got his henchmen. That's where she got her sons that turned white and started doing white stuff. So my father is Zulu, head of Zulu. He died. I passed on the white lineage. White lineage is connection through bloodline of bleach. The last name, white, clears a lot of demons immediately from their genetics. White. Your last name, white, cleans the demons from the lineage. My brother, Zarius, also Shaka energy, Shaka Zulu energy. Shaka Zulu energy has a daughter. Her name is Sage White. White Sage, right? His last name is White. He got from our father. White and Sage comes from the cleaning, the smoke that cleans the demons. So Flint sets on fire the code within the genetics, being like, okay, well, brother initiated my daughter, Angel Gabriel, is the same as Angel White, because Gabriel, again, is archangel to the throne, period. My feminine genetics to her feminine genetics, she is the next coming of me. So she is me fast forwarded. My son is me fast forwarded. Pulled him from Alexander the Great era when Copernicus went down and tried to get him and take him back to the seeds of his father to be reborn in a different wife. But because I prayed so hard for a son for our generation, for the next generation, my father lost his throne to my son, right? So that was the beginning stakes of the apocalypse. My father dying. And he died. I wore a white dress with a red boutonniere, boutsier on mine. And it was a short dress that kept riding up because I wanted to see who was really paying attention, right? I went to the Dragons. My dad was Zonnie White. He was head of the Dragons in East Oakland, in Oakland, Flint, right? I went there into the clubhouse. I'm expecting Pervy Sages, Pervy Sage, remember the saying in front of Naruto? He's a Pervy Sage to be there. But instead, no one but the young generation tried at me. My uncle, who is trying to take over, my uncle is my brother, father's brother, not the same dad. He wanted to take over the Dragons now that Zani died, penniless. He wanted to take over Scar's direction in that order. I said, my last name is White. I passed on the direction from my father. They said, we don't let women run our shit. Men run the shit. I said, from a spiritual, I'm going to run the shit. But then in the front end, you will direct the shit. Right? Direct the descendants, what I say. They don't want a woman to run it. Right? They change directions and give to uncle my title. Right? Dragons no longer under my title. They pass it down to each male lineage. Cool, fine. I move aside, start my own race, start my own culture. Being like, okay, well, Oakland don't fuck with me like that. I get my sons, Marshawn, Tyshawn, Trayshawn, my Shawns, Waynes, Frogs, make everybody laugh, right? Keenon, QAnons, Frogs, right? Get it? So, in the direction of what I am seeing my lineage play back and forth, tennis match, tennis match, tennis match, I finally separate from the old dimension because through my father's lineage, it is a avalanche. My father's lineage is an avalanche. That's how my father's lineage took down evil in their own direction. But some of them didn't do their job, so it didn't melt the ice to avalanche, so they died. Right? The men have a curse on the genetic. My brother was the last one to break it. His brother was the last one to break it because he got a wife and a son. He got a wife and a son. But his son, my brother's son, is from a seed that his wife had earlier with a different person because Zarius was too busy in in debt with his uncle. Same, 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 same. He's in debt with his uncle, my uncle, my mother's side. I'm on it on my father's side. So we're playing a direct story, a correlation, but we're doing it as opposite, right? My brother has a wife who has a son from a different marriage, but that's actually his son. I don't know if he really knows it, but that's his son, right? Even though another one bared the seed of him, those are his kids. He finally meets up with his wife in Texas and they start a new family, a different breed, off of the family that my mother's lineage led down. I go on the opposite side in white and I start a lineage with my father's enemy side, right? My father's brother is the enemy, right? In this situation, he's the enemy to me. So on the opposite side, he's the enemy to him. And my enemy or my brother is my enemy, right? So let's take white, for example. The last name of white and a black person neutralizes religion and neutralizes race. So the last name is a neutralizer. Fertilizer. Da, 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 da. Okay. Fertilizer. Got it? Frank Ocean? Frank Ocean. Son of fire, Ra. Son of Ra. Okay. Now, break. Okay. Okay. So break this one down now. The enemy of my enemy is my enemy. Okay. If the enemy of my enemy is my enemy. The enemy of my brother is my enemy. The enemy of my brother's enemy is my family. Bingo. Okay. So take this one. Someone hit the nail on the hammer, hammer on the head. When my father died, I was at the funeral and I sat in the front. My father, Zani White, died. He died and they put him in a white suit. And at the funeral, the same time playing, I was there. I kissed him on the cheek. I kissed him on the cheek and he awoke. Time paused and I sat and I talked to him about what he's done. And he was the first one to be judged by God at youth. I was only 19, I believe. I just had my son, Alexander, and or 20 something in my 20s, I think. I don't remember the date. But Alex was born. He got to meet him before he passed, and I took the picture. And I said to him in the underground, I'm going to bleach your soul and pass it to the next generation because the amount of sins that you would pass to my sons, it ain't worth it. It's better you become an ancestor and lead us in faith, lead us in a different direction now that you see how it ends. At his funeral, I sat in the front and I wore a white dress with a red boutonniere. They said, many of you owe Zani money. How many of them raised their hands? A lot. I raised my hand to accept the payment that you need to pay me because you owe him. I used that money to bleach the tide of my son. And now my son, Alex, is elder over them. Elder, he's a kid, and he's an elder over them, which puts him at king over them. My son. Right? Okay. My daughter, Sage White, and my daughter are in corresponding Gemini triangles. So they know each other. Sage, when she was born, she's the second of the two girls. The first girl was me, my energy. The second girl was Sage. Sage is Madison, Maddie, and then Sage. Sage, the whole generation before they came to the door to be born again. My daughter, or my brother's daughter. So that makes her an angel Gabriel in her genetics, and my daughter is angel Gabriel in her genetics. He has a son who is 10, I think, 11 or 12. 11, maybe 10. And my son, who is 10. That puts them on the same genetics to do defense from those negative entities trying to come in. Naruto and the guy from, you remember the guy who did all the computer stuff in the Dread guy, played by the guy from Best Men, also played in From the Dark Parts of the Universe. Okay? My son would be equivalent to that guy in the Matrix. Not the one that betrayed. Perfect. So that locks the door from our generational seeds. Okay? So that would put my father as a Viking on the black end. And that would put my mother as a freedom fighter on the black end. And they got together and they created in Oakland, California, the energy of the Black Panthers. The Black Panthers tie with Congo. Congo ties with Dominican Republic. These are all Aganyu seeds, Aganyu seeds, Aganyu seeds, right? They come here. If Aganyu seeds come here and they lose their temper here, it activates the sun, activates more fire in the sun, right? So now we have Congo playing against an ice wall, right? They're playing against to see if the sun's going to be hot or if it's going to be cool. Have you angered the ancestors or are we cool? Where is the heat going to go? Is it going to go to Kansas? You know, is it going to go to the Mediterranean climates? Is it going to go to Saudi Arabia? Is it going to go here? But let's say in all the grandeur, Mexico, who comes from Mayan culture, which is offering culture, paid off enough for each of the countries. Did they pay off enough debt for the countries to get their electricity? Or how is the games going to erupt in your culture to show you who won? If their constituents and their DC mayor took the bribe, if their representative in the, House of Representatives took a bribe, they lose the game. If Mamdani is a corrupt man, they'll lose the game because this is the coach of your team. This is the coach of your team from a political standpoint, which is the puppet of your genetics, because you allow this representative to represent your collective consciousness. If corruption is in the highest place, in government, It's going to tie back to your games, and you're going to lose your games because your representative is corrupt. Same thing with the cross country teams coming over from FIFA for FIFA. If you are corrupt in spirit, your goals won't matter. It'll be a 0-0 match because one is coming, mother or father is coming to take over one of the teammates to win on the other score of the game, win on the other team of the game. And this shows this corruption in the pot through games. Back in the day in Roman culture, games were very important because it would beat the seed out of the face of the man who's corrupt legally because they're setting up a match in a octagon. Then they started training Goliaths and Jezebel instead of seeds of Christ. They started training them. So it would get bloodier and bloodier because the seeds of Christ know when to stop because this is a beating, not a hanging. The hanging comes from when both seeds say, it was you, it was you, it was you, and nobody wants to tell the truth. So the hangings come, right? If no one wants to tell the truth and open the door and reveal the UFOs and reveal the shit, then they're gonna get God. Jesus come to the front of the ring and score or beat them in. And then when the beating is done, the lesson was, hey, don't do it again, or else you get beat. This reflected in the culture of gang culture. This reflected in all the things. Da, 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 da. Then you got using this energy of collective consciousness to activate the tribe's animal. So, like, let's say the first person to activate their animal heritage is Haile Selassie, right? Jamaica, or not even Jamaica, Eritrea, Ethiopia. The first family to activate them was the lions. Lions always activate first because they block the door from evil coming in. When I was younger in foster care, to protect my family, I put 2 gold lions on top of the house. People call it tacky, people call it what they want. But those gold lions signified royalty. So it's an embassy. If you get 2 lions, if you get 2 lions in your real estate class in Monopoly, 2 lions indicate a embassy. This is an embassy, a holy embassy. You cannot go past these gates without A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So character has to be on point, your, you know, skill level and everything. And then once you become a lion, you can play in the league. Bob Marley always wanted to play soccer. Always wanted to play soccer. And that was his lineage's way of dealing and multiplying the consciousness by playing soccer and getting a goal. Yeah. So it's the ancestors' way of preparing for a war. They're preparing for a war. So now all of the countries that are coming in to understand where their lineage fits into this war will be fighting against the system, the old system. Asteroids coming in, they kick them out, right? So if asteroids come in, they kick them out, we have an umbrella protection. That protection extends to their nation. They become the lions of their nation. Activated, they get based on the hype man. Hype man is supposed to be the mascot. So they'll get a eagle, they'll get a raven, they'll get a whale, they'll get something that they can play in the system to go to sleep and play an animal in the ocean You paying off debt that was accumulated for your society. Okay? That's all I got. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. So then we also you extend that out. So you got um football, 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 surfing, ice skating, all of these talent groups from a sports perspective, training the soul to be a warrior in fight or flight, birds, flight, go to the birds. The birds are able to communicate to the matrix to say, hey, 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 right here is leaking. So I get a call from a meteorologist. Hey, Sacramento is going through it, and we're sending you a smoke signal. Smoke signal, that means a health aid warehouse went up in flame. So that's a warning. We're going to have to do a saging ritual here to clear the debt in the air. And then we're going to have a game right here because there's a roof leak in California right here. Who came to help California? That means that their roof is connected, right? Who helped? Who is stationed in California? How well did they prepare for their arrival, right? Sometimes I feel like when you don't have towels for company, you're a bad host. Like if there's not a towel everywhere because they want to wash their hands and it's not there, then you're in trouble, right? I don't like that feeling. I feel unprepared. Now, if you have towels in your hotel room, how do you feel? You don't have to call the desk and say, "Yo, I need 4 towels. Ain't got none in here." That feels ill prepared. It feels unprepared, right? So, Kansas. No, let's not go Kansas. Let's go because that's Algeria, right? Okay. Because if Algeria has their back, the tornado season isn't gonna be as wild in Kansas, right? Because their idea is rev- they're reverse engineering tornadoes on the field. So spins, blocks of the goal, like it's almost like um, a screwdriver going in a circle, working, right? And then it reverses major storms. But what is the connection over here to Algeria? What storms were in Algeria beforehand? Because they're hand in hand. They're, I don't know how to explain it. Brothers, cousins, you know, like they're the darker end of Kansas. So some of them are the same people, just reversed in the different culture. Like you could have a twin person, same consciousness on a different sphere, right? Our old men in Kansas saying there's a same old man saying the same thing in Algeria. The same thing. And it's connected, right? Now look at it from the roof perspective. It started raining in DC on fight night. I wrote a poem about the rain and the portal opening. Da-ra. Okay? Mexico. Yeah. So is in Brazil is in Seattle right now. Some Brazilian people are in here now. And I was watching the game yesterday, Brazil, because I love the Brazilian culture. Like I really do. And I think that their women are so beautiful and kind. And I bet if we embrace Brazil more, that we would realize that we are a reflection of them. Seattle. People don't understand it, right? But Seattle has a heritage connection to Brazil from the underground. We have a city underneath our city, and that city that's underneath our city is Brazil. They're underneath our city. Like from a spiritual standpoint. And then each time that I go under, flip. So that's honey pot. But then plastic started getting into our honey pot. Plastic meaning the women started changing how they looked based on the men's appeasement, which put plastic in honey, which changed the tone, which made jealousy more possible towards the Brazilian feminine. And when jealousy comes, war comes, bribes, other stuff. So we had to figure out what? How to clean the honey. So cleaning the honey is water's job. Right on the fucking waterfront, Brazil offering, giving an offering back to the fish house. And the fish house is the Pisces energy of our generation. The mother getting the fish in her mouth as a bear, the bear growling, the bear roaring, and thunders in Cincinnati. Bengals, Tigers. Wakes the Tigers, and the Tigers is a football team which ties into Bangladesh, which ties into Seed of Shiva. Boom! The seeds of Shiva, like, duh. The seeds of their father. So I can't burn Shiva seeds without it affecting Brazil. And I don't want Brazil to be affected because I don't want my honey to be affected. I don't want my honey to be affected because at the end of all of this, I have to mate with my husband. And I want him to have the best honey. So what if Brazil wins? What if Brazil wins, guys? What if she wins and get whatever she want? You never know. Look, my hair falling out already. Because I want to get my hair done, but I don't want to pay for it. I don't want to pay for it. I'm gonna go get my nails done though. 205. Alrighty. Bye.